What's up guys, Drew and Cars here. In today's video we're going to talk about tuning the green or really any color silicone tire inserts by Injora. So personally I've ran them in my Injora wheels with the Proline BFG crawlers in G8 compound. And if you notice, the sidewalls are super flimsy and it greatly affects your side hill. So here's what they look like outside. I've seen videos of people putting tuning rods in there. Someone suggested to me making tuning discs. So what I did is I had Proline single stage foams, which is basically the inside part of a dual stage foam, and I used to run them on the Bronco, and they had a sale on the dual stages, so I switched to dual stages on the Bronco, and I had basically 4 single stage foams just sitting in a bag not doing anything. And I had the bright idea of, well, someone suggested making tuning discs, so I cut up one. Basically what I've done is they start together kind of looking like this, but a little bit tighter together. I mean, they're cut now, so I sliced the outside edges off using an X-Acto knife or a hobby knife, and currently on the blue truck in the front, so I have nice squish from the silicone, but really firm sidewall. So in the front I'm running the 2-disc thick, and then in the rear single disc there's a little bit more sidewall play. This also keeps the silicone centered in the wheel. If you've noticed in some of my other videos, when I'm running this, they tend to like scoot over like that. And it can kind of cause a lot of unpredictability while you're on the trail. So these not only thicken up the sidewall and give you better side hilling, they're also going to keep your insert centered so your truck's not shifting over when you're on a side hill. I've already got them in these ruptures. I'm tearing apart, and that's why I have the silicone out now. Tire unmounted, wheel split apart. I'm going to put them on my crawlers and show you what the difference is once they're done. All right, so I got the first wheel done, and unfortunately with these Proline tires and these Injora wheels, I mean, they're different than the other Injora wheels I have. It was a little bit too wide, and every time I tried to push the bead down or push the inside part of the rim down on the bead lock, it would just push through the bead. So on these wheels with the crawlers, I'm just going to do a 1 thickness shim. I could potentially try one on each side, but I don't think they'll make a big difference. But it's a lot more firm than what it was before. If I pinch the edges and just see how easily that collapses, I think even 1 thick will still be enough for side hilling on these tires. Now the center is still squishy, the inside section of the wheel still squishy, but I really wanted just the outside edge to have more support. I got all 4 mounted up. It's not perfect because it's only a single ring. I do have my steers marked with Sharpie because they have brass rings and the rears do not. So the fronts feel stiffer than the rears do. It's not going to be nearly as effective, I think, as the 2-ring and the J Concepts. Now, this is my first set of J Concepts. I have no idea if it's the sidewall rigidity on these ruptures to begin with, or if it's these wheels, whatever the case may be, or the crawler specifically that wouldn't allow me to use 2 rings. They're cut apart now, but I couldn't do 2 thickness on the front tires like I wanted, like I do on these. The ruptures have 2, but basically, I mean, they are stiffer, so they will help, but I don't think it's going to be nearly as much as the front on this. Now the rear, these only have 1 as well, but they do feel a little bit stiffer than the crawlers, but we'll see when we get out on the trail.
But it doesn't taste like wine. It tastes like Kool-Aid, literally. It is tasteless, I know. But I ain't got my kids with me. I ain't got no good. I don't got no big color on me.
Not too bad. It's a lot drier and a lot warmer now. A lot colder this morning.
Gotta get it in next week.
Yeah. It's supposed to be cold tomorrow too, I heard. Well, overall, I think the foams and insert trick has done a lot today. Very well. I do want to pull the second disc out of the front on both sides and just run one disc. I think that's going to be the ticket. These tires are also phenomenal too. I can't wait to try them when it's completely dry out. It was wet and nasty this morning. It dried out throughout the day. And the whole day on the ruptures, totally forgot to do the crawler, so I have the same insert set up except one ring on the front, really one ring all the way around, so see how well the crawlers do with the new insert setup. So I loved it on the ruptures, and I think I want to do one ring on the ruptures too. And the crawlers could only fit one ring, so we're off to a good start. I ran the crawlers a lot. I just wanted to test the foams with the silicone inserts, and I'm loving it. Definitely think one foam ring is the way to go. I'm gonna pull the second one out of the ruptures when I get home. Today is the first time running ruptures, so I spent all day with them. I just wanted to do a quick test with these after I changed the inserts. Proline single stage foams. They come in sets of 2 just like any other foam. One tire foam will do one set of tires. So essentially your 2-pack will get 2 trucks done. If you're doing, I think it actually creates 6 rings. So realistically you could do, I'm terrible at math, so make fun of me if you want, but if you buy a pack of 2, they have 6 rings, you can theoretically get away with what, 3 full sets of tires if you have Injora silicone inserts. But I think that's the way to go. I mean, this truck had 0 side hill with the silicone inserts before. I would have flipped over just doing this. Putting foam in the sidewall definitely made a huge difference. All right, guys, we're back in the garage just to wrap things up. Final thoughts. The ruptures, I'll grab that. Okay, so the ruptures, I had 2 rings in them. I think it's a little bit too stiff. Now, I didn't mention it on camera, but I think it just had a little bit too much deflection. When you're crawling up something, it didn't have like enough give, and it kind of just pushed the truck off of an obstacle. I noticed when I had the crawlers on, it did a little bit better. And then of course on the rears of the ruptures, I only had 1 ring. I think that is the key. So if you made it to the end of the video, I highly suggest getting the Proline single stages, cut them up. If you have a 3D printer, you could probably make your own. And obviously foam deteriorates when it gets wet, so having a 3D printer can eliminate having the foam inside the tires. My tires are all cut or vented, So water can easily get inside them, air can easily get out. I just have it vented on the sidewall and not the tread, so it's harder for water to get out. So I don't know how long these are going to last. They lasted a long time on my Bronco, and I completely submerged that when I was running just the foams and no other part of the insert. So it should last quite a while. I think I'll work on potentially finding tuning discs that are silicone or 3D printed, just something to get rid of the foam. But for right now, I think this is honestly one of the best ways to tune the Injora inserts. I've never tried the blue, I've never tried the red. I have the green in both sets of tires, and the forward drive on them, I absolutely love how much they squish. But man, the sidewall was terrible for them. So I definitely think adding the shims to the tires is the way to go. Put one in there, not two. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I was going to try two. I'm going to pull them out of the front tires, or pull the second ring out of the front tires, run it again, and we'll go from there. Next week, or maybe even earlier this week, I will have a full-length video of running the ruptures all day. I just wanted to get a little bit of run video for this video on the crawlers and the ruptures, just to show how well the side hilling does. I'm still a little bit new to making YouTube videos. There's a couple people left over that I don't normally film around, so I was kind of remaining quiet while I was filming. In the crawler video, when I was hanging off the side, truck's never done that before, at least with these inserts. It hung on. Now it's not the greatest crawler in the world, so I did fall, but it hung on. And then the rock face where I was running sideways, again, this truck could not handle it before. Both sets of tires now, it stayed planted the whole time. I'm absolutely loving it. In the next video, you'll see when I'm running the ruptures all around white settlement, it handled pretty much everything pretty well. The biggest downside was it was raining that morning, so it was really wet. On wet rock, the ruptures didn't do great. I haven't found a tire that does good on wet rock, but surprisingly in the mud, it actually did really well. They kept the mud clumped up together, and it kind of just became like sticky putty or something. The mud just grabbed onto the rest of the mud, and it went up obstacles. Now when it was slick rock, kind of slipped everywhere, but in the dirt, in the mud, the ruptures actually did pretty well. The crawlers do pretty good at that too. When I was running the, the Predator trenchers, as soon as they got wet, they sucked. I actually put those up for sale on Marketplace. I'm trying to get rid of those, but I'm really liking the ruptures. I've always loved my crawlers, and that's about it. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you've tried to fix your Injora silicone inserts. Tell me what kind of inserts you're running, 3D printed, that you've made yourself, purchased. What foams do you like? Let me down below in the comments. Peace.